Hello everyone, and welcome to Thriving, helping adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities heal and thrive following trauma. This project would not have been made possible without the support and hard work of many people and organizations. These materials have been adapted with permission from the Road to Recovery Toolkit, supporting children with intellectual and developmental disabilities who have experienced trauma, developed by the National Center for Child Traumatic Stress, the National Child Traumatic Stress Network, and the Hogg Foundation, along with a national selection of experts in trauma and intellectual and developmental disabilities. This toolkit is an excellent resource for providers of children with intellectual and developmental disabilities. If you also work with children, or if you have separate teams in your organization that support children, we highly recommend this toolkit as well. Funding for this project, for the Thriving adaptation, was made possible by the WITH Foundation, which works for inclusive and transformative healthcare for people with developmental disabilities. This adaptation was developed by a team of experts, including several people who were responsible for the development of the original Road to Recovery Toolkit. The advisory board is made up of Ruth Brown, Ananda Amstatter, Michael Southam-Giroux, Patricia Hagood, Colleen Horton, Adam Call, Susan Coe, Andrea Koenig, and Michelle Schwartz. If you've participated in the Road to Recovery program, there is substantial overlap in this version. Many adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities who experience trauma in childhood may continue to experience the effects of that trauma into adulthood. Understanding the effects of trauma experienced in childhood is important for understanding the lasting effects of that trauma. However, we felt that while training in childhood trauma is extremely valuable, it is not sufficient for supporting adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities who have experienced trauma. This training addresses the continued impact of childhood trauma, plus trauma experienced in adulthood. It addresses the living and occupational environments that adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities experience, and how these areas of functioning may be impacted by trauma. We also address the assessments and treatments of trauma and stress-related distress that are appropriate for adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. This training is broken up into 6 modules. In these modules, you'll learn the best practices and techniques to help reduce the stress faced by adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities who have experienced trauma. By understanding development, traumatic stress, and the nuances of working with adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities, you'll become more effective at your job and find more reward in working with the people in your care. Module 1 is Setting the Stage. In this module, you'll learn why a toolkit that addresses the needs of adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities who have had traumatic experiences is important by learning and comprehending the 12 core concepts for understanding traumatic stress responses in people. Module 2, Development, Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities, and Trauma. You'll learn about typical milestones that occur throughout a person's lifespan and how intellectual and developmental disabilities and trauma can detour those milestones and impact their behavior and health throughout the lifespan. Module 3, Traumatic Stress Responses in Adults with Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities. You'll learn about how traumatic experiences affect development generally and adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities specifically. Module 4, Well-Being and Resilience. You'll learn the role of protective factors, such as a secure attachment and a healing and protective environment, in enhancing a person's well-being and resilience, and how to provide practical tools and support for caregivers and parents. Module 5, Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities and Trauma-Informed Services and Treatment. You will learn how to augment the protective factors of adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities and their caregiving system through intellectual and developmental disability-informed trauma assessment and screening, and referral to appropriate trauma-informed services and treatment. Module 6, Provider Self-Care. In the last module, you'll learn the difference between burnout, secondary traumatic stress, and vicarious trauma, and the steps to stress reduction and self-care.